Welcome to the Get Wisdom podcast. And for you folks looking for maybe a new way to do life or trying to figure out how to get unstuck, maybe in any area of life, or if you just need a new perspective on your current circumstance, well, we can assist you with all of those things. Check us out at www.getwisdom.cc.
I'm Miranda.
And I'm Jay. And today we'll be taking you through a really interesting white paper by Brent Ziemann.
Yeah, our goal is to give you some actionable insights from this really compelling piece of research. Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. We're diving into a really crucial topic today, the difference between the kind of love that actually lasts and, well, the affection that just fails. This paper, True Love versus Conditional Affection, it basically suggests that a lot of what we call love today, it's kind of built on quicksand.
Yeah, because the whole foundation might be, well, flawed from the start. And what's really fascinating is how the paper just jumps right in. It argues that love, it's just widely misunderstood. We often confuse, getting our own needs met with what genuine unconditional love actually is. Okay, so that confusion, that's the root cause.
Exactly. It leads straight to disappointment, fragility. You see it when relationships face their first, real challenge. And the core idea Ziemann puts forward is pretty stark. True love, that's defined as a selfless act of service. Conditional affection, on the other hand, is purely transactional.
Transactional. That's a strong word. Loving what someone does for you, maybe, or how they make you feel.
Precisely. Instead of loving the actual person, it's fundamentally focused on, personal benefit.
And so less about romance and more like, I don't know, a subscription.
That's a great analogy. If the benefits stop coming, maybe the validation, the security, whatever it is,
right,
then the love, quote unquote, is just canceled. And the moment that source of fulfillment dries up, the affection doesn't just fade. Often, it just vanishes completely.
Okay, and the paper talks about what happens next.
It does. It highlights something really telling. This rapid search for a replacement partner. And the urgency there, it isn't really about grieving a lost connection. It's more driven by this immediate need to keep the personal gratification going.
So you're replacing the function the person served, not the actual person.
Exactly that.
And here's where it gets really interesting for you listening right now. Have you ever seen a relationship end and then boom, one person jumps right into something that looks exactly like the old one? That's often a sign of this conditional affection thing at work. They're not really looking for a deep connection. They're just trying to keep the emotional utilities switched on.
Yeah. And in, sharp contrast, unconditional love goes way beyond what you receive. It's not about taking. It's centered around contribution.
Yeah.
It puts the other person's well-being, their growth, their flourishing right at the center.
Right.
And because the foundation is contribution, what can I give? It doesn't crumble when things get tough. Or when the partner, maybe can't meet some temporary need. It's just inherently more resilient.
Okay, so we've got this difference. Serving versus needing. But that whole dynamic, it brings up a big red flag the paper talks about next, right? Dependency.
That's right. The paper points to the inability to be alone, that kind of fundamental discomfort with just solitude as a really strong sign of unresolved inner work. If you constantly feel like you need to chase companionship, or if quiet time makes you anxious, well, that signals a lack of internal wholeness.
And when two people who aren't whole get together,
it almost inevitably leads to a codependent dynamic. Each person starts using the other as sort of an emotional crutch.
Okay, but hang on. How do we tell the difference between that kind of unhealthy dependency and just, a normal, healthy human need for connection? That's important.
It's a critical distinction, absolutely.
Yeah.
Dependency, in the way the paper uses the term, it's rooted in this belief that the other person has to complete you or fix something broken inside you. Healthy connection or interdependence, that's different. That's when two whole people choose to share their lives, to enhance each other's growth. But if one leaves, the other one, they're still okay. They remain structurally intact.
Okay.
The paper argues that in these need-based relationships, the focus is always internal. It's always, what does my partner provide for me? What gap do they fill for me? What do they fix in me?
Right. So if you go into it feeling like you're missing something, you basically, maybe unconsciously, hire your partner to be that missing piece.
Exactly. And the paper is pretty clear. Without that essential wholeness, that ability to stand on your own 2 feet, complete the act of loving itself, gets contaminated. It's tainted by unconscious self-service.
So we think we're building a connection, but really we're just trying to prop ourselves up. Emotionally, maybe psychologically?
Yeah. And this leads to what the paper calls one of the most critical prerequisites for a healthy long-term relationship. And it's maybe not what you'd expect. It's not chemistry, not even compatibility primarily.
What is it then?
It's the ability to stand whole in solitude. Only a whole person, someone whose self-worth comes from within, can truly give love without that crippling weight of expectation.
Because they aren't looking to fill a void. They're looking to share something they already have, abundance.
Precisely.
And when both people get to that state, that's when love can become truly selfless,
Yeah.
focused on service.
That's the idea. The question shifts completely. It goes from, what am I getting out of this, to what can I give? How can I help this person flourish? How can I contribute to their growth?
And if both partners are doing that,
Then you get this amazing, virtuous cycle of giving. It just reinforces the connection, deepens the trust. That's what makes relationships truly resilient. It's not about having no problems. It's about that shared commitment to contribution despite the problems.
okay, that makes a lot of sense. So this leads to a kind of broader question Ziemann raises. If this distinction is so clear, service versus need, why is it so hard for us, as people, as humanity? Why do we keep falling into these patterns?
Right. And the paper connects this individual struggle to something bigger, a broader kind of immaturity. Specifically, it suggests humanity is often operating from what it calls a primitive or an adolescent stage of consciousness.
Adolescent stage of consciousness.
Yeah.
But, okay, what does that mean? We're not talking about teenagers, obviously.
No, not chronologically. It's about psychological development. An adult operating from this stage, well, they tend to exhibit certain traits. They often vastly overestimate their own maturity, especially in complex areas like, say, emotional intelligence or relationship skills.
They think they know more than they do.
Yeah, fundamentally. They believe they've got it all figured out, especially about love and life when maybe they don't.
Can you give us like maybe 2 or 3 key behaviors? How would this show up in, say, a 40-year-old?
Sure. First, a heavy reliance on external validation. Their sense of self-worth is tied up in what others think, or their achievements, or needing constant attention from a partner. Second, you often see short-sighted hedonism, prioritizing immediate pleasure or emotional comfort over, well, maybe doing the harder work of long-term growth or necessary self-reflection, even if it's painful.
Right, avoiding discomfort.
Exactly. And fundamentally, the third thing is operating from need rather than wholeness, viewing other people primarily as instruments to satisfy their own needs rather than as equals deserving unconditional contribution.
Wow, okay. That connects directly back to conditional affection, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If I'm stuck in that adolescent stage, I'm almost bound to confuse dependency with love.
Precisely.
I'll confuse comfort with real commitment.
Yeah.
I'm basically still looking for that external validation, maybe that comfort a parent provides, but trying to get it from a romantic partner.
That's it. Exactly. So the societal challenge Ziemann lays out is huge. It's about maturing beyond that stage. It means evolving our consciousness so that love isn't just bound by these primitive, self-serving needs anymore, so it can actually become a selfless, unconditional expression.
And that's not just a personal journey, you're saying. It's like a collective evolution for us.
Right. The paper definitely frames it that way.
Okay. So if we accept this diagnosis that many of us might be operating from this adolescent need-based place when it comes to love, what's the way forward? The paper doesn't just criticize, does it? It offers a path.
Yes, it outlines 3 necessary shifts in consciousness. These are needed for a genuine transformation from that conditional affection to, well, true love.
What's the first shift?
The first one is moving towards wholeness over dependency. This really requires individuals to step back, to honestly look at their own internal landscape. It means committing to that often difficult, sometimes lonely work of healing, of becoming fully whole internally.
So the goal is feeling complete and stable on your own, without needing a partner to fix you or manage your feelings or tell you you're worthy.
That's the core of it.
That takes real humility, doesn't it? To admit, okay, I'm not whole yet, and I need to do this work myself.
It really does. It completely reframes what a relationship is for. It stops being like a hospital for 2 broken people trying to fix each other and becomes more of a shared journey between 2 stable, whole individuals.
Okay, that's shift 1, wholeness. What's the second?
The second shift is the commitment to selfless expression. This is the key behavioral change. It requires a fundamental pivot. Turning away from self-focus, always asking, what can I get? Towards a service focus, asking, what can I give? What can I contribute to my partner's life and to the partnership itself? This takes conscious effort, to actively put the partner's well-being sometimes ahead of your own immediate, maybe more primitive needs or wants.
Well, wait, if everyone's just serving, who gets served? Does that make sense?
But that's where the virtuous cycle kicks in, remember?
Right. Okay.
If I am whole and I'm focused on contributing to my partner's flourishing, and crucially, they are doing the same for me, then the relationship itself benefits. It becomes this incredibly strong positive feedback loop.
Okay, I get it. Wholeness, selfless expression. What's the third shift?
The third shift is about collective maturity. This is about recognizing that love isn't just about meeting a checklist of my personal needs that I hand over to my partner.
Right.
It's about fostering mutual connection, shared growth, the flourishing of the entire partnership ecosystem. It moves beyond just you and me fighting for resources into a resilient us.
Wow. This whole perspective, it really challenges the way modern relationships are often portrayed, doesn't it? We kind of romanticize dependency sometimes.
We absolutely do.
So the reward Ziemann talks about for taking this journey, it sounds like it requires a lot of humility, a lot of self-reflection.
It definitely does. It's not easy work.
But the payoff is potentially huge.
Yeah.
A love that's actually resilient.
Yeah.
Genuinely transformative.
Yeah.
And maybe immune to all those transactional problems of conditional affection.
That's the possibility laid out. Unconditional love and conditional affection. They operate on fundamentally different principles. To mature, both as individuals and maybe even as a species, it means reorienting ourselves, shifting focus from what we can get from relationships to what we are capable of giving.
Yeah. The future of love, as the paper puts it, really hinges on our willingness to evolve past those primitive needs and truly embrace personal wholeness.
So ultimately, to love isn't about consuming, it's about contributing. That feels like the big takeaway here.
A very powerful one.
It really is. A revolutionary idea from Brent Ziemann's white paper. And we absolutely want to thank Brent Ziemann for such an insightful analysis.
And if you want to reach out, you can contact Brent Ziemann directly. The number is 972-301-2878. Or you can reach him via email at getwisdomprinciple@gmail.com.
Also, please be sure to check out our sponsors. You can find some great resources there. That's at www.getwisdom.cc sponsors. Thank you so much for listening today, and we will see you tomorrow right back here on the Get Wisdom podcast.